We now welcome to the stage former Congresswoman from Texas, Mayra Flores, Hispanic Outreach and Communications Director, Jaime Florez, Deputy Assistant to the President, Jenny Korn, and moderator, founder of Latino Wall Street, Gabriela Barospi.
Well, welcome to CPAC Latino. I'm honored to have this rock star panel. We're honored to be joined by three conservative change makers. Former Congresswoman Mayra Flores. She was the first Mexican-born woman in Congress, a fierce defender of faith, family, and freedom.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
An honor to have you. Jaime Florez, RNC's voice to the Hispanic community, building bridges with truth and conviction. Thank you so much for joining us. And Jenny Korn, Deputy Assistant to the President. Thank you so much for coming from the White House to join us. So I'm going to start, Jen, with you. Too often people in our communities believe political power is for other people, right? So not for us. What would you say to the young Latina, the single mom, or the small business owner who's sitting here right now thinking they'll never be in a position of power and influence, that it's not possible for them? What would you respond to that?
Well, thank you very much, Gabby. So wonderful to be with you. Un placer estar con ustedes. Y yo voy a hablar en inglés porque estoy más inteligente en inglés than en español. So this is a great question because I'm Deputy Assistant to the President at the White House, and I run the White House Faith Office. I'm the director. And I would never think that a little girl like me, I was born in East LA, in California, to a mom who was born in Guadalajara, who my grandparents had a 6th grade education and trekked across Mexico to then come on the Bracero program. And my grandfather came back and forth and back and forth. And I share this story because my mom made me love this country so much. She said the most beautiful thing to her was the American flag waving against the San Diego blue sky, and how excited she was that her shoes didn't get dirty. And I said, Mom, what do you mean your shoes didn't get dirty? She goes, because here in San Diego, all the roads and the sidewalks are paved over, and they had lived in all dirt roads. And so who would think a little girl like me, we didn't come from money, we didn't come from politics, would end up working at the White House? This is my 3rd time working at the White House as the highest ranking Latina. And I'm
wow, an applause. That's inspiring, come on.
And I started by doing voter registration in LA. I said it was very important to get Latinos to register to vote because you don't have a voice if you're not registered to vote. And if you don't vote and get out to vote and know the issues, then you also don't have a voice. And Latinos are going to be the 1/3 of the population by 2050. We have power. We have voting power. We have economic power. We have our voices. And so my job has always been to go out into the community to educate, to equip, and to mobilize the Latino community. And we saw that with President Trump. He got 46% of the Latino vote, the highest ever of any Republican president in history. And so the Latino vote is so important. So what I would say to that mom, or really to any Latino, is you need to get involved. If someone like me could get involved, and I would go door to door, I would do phone calls, and what I realized is when I talked to the person about the policy or the candidate that I was supporting, that if I knew my stuff and I was passionate, I could convince that person 9 times out of 10 to vote my way. But then I got 10 more people to do that and 100 more people. Now I'm impacting millions of people to get involved and to be part of policy making. And if someone says to you, oh, I don't like politics, politics matters because policy matters. And policy matters because it affects people, and all of our people matter. So Latinos, we've got the numbers, we've got the voting power, we've got the economy. You need to get involved, whether that's at the city council level, at the state rep level, at the state level, or how I am now at the national level. And if you want to get involved with us, I just want to thank Mercy and Matt Schlapp. They've been dear friends of mine since 2004. I'm happy to partner with you. If you want to partner with the White House, we're happy to have you on board.
Wow, that's amazing. It's incredible how one event can open so many doors and opportunities. I always say it takes one connection, one event, one breakthrough to completely transform your life. I really believe that because it's happened to me. So Jaime, Latinos are the future of this country. We know it, we have the numbers, the statistics to back that up. Not just as voters, but as leaders. What do you believe is the most powerful step someone can take today, whether it's running for office, building generational wealth, or owning their voice, to become a real force in shaping the future of America?
As Jenny said, we need to participate. The first step, I think, is join the Republican Party at your level, in your town, in your state, in your county, everywhere you can. Become a candidate if necessary. Be trained for that purpose. Get together with other people that have the same intentions that you have, that have the same ideas that you share with them to solve the problems that we all have to face every single day, in every single phase of our life. We need to help the education system to get better. We need to help the healthcare system to get better, and we're doing it as Republicans. Let me give you some facts that we can talk about. A significant percentage of Latinos have been changing from Democrats to Republican in the last 6 or 8 years. And people ask me why. I have given some interviews for newspapers and magazines and TV stations, and they all ask the same thing. How is it that Hispanics are becoming Republicans? First, President Reagan used to say, Hispanics are Republicans. They just don't know yet. Okay, we're finding out. We've been finding out since 2016, 2012 probably, and the numbers show that very, very well. If you see, and I have my numbers here so I don't make any mistakes, 42% of Latinos cast their vote for President Trump in 2024. That's 42%. In 2016, we had only 28%. And in 2020, we had 32%. So we jumped from 28 to 32 to 42 that we have now. And probably in 2026, we're going to have more Latinos. Among other things, because Latinos found out that they align much better with the values and principles of the Republican Party than with those of the Democrat Party. And one of the reasons the Hispanics are moving from Democrats to Republicans is because we got tired of taken for granted for way too long and have made promises that they never kept. So that's why we're becoming Republicans. So the first thing that our people need to do is, guys, not because you're Hispanics, you need to be Democrats. You're Republicans. Please find out.
Wow, I love that. Very true, yes. So, Mayra, you were born in Mexico.
Sí, señor.
La primera mujer nacida en México que logró llegar al Congreso de Estados Unidos. Wow.
Muchas gracias.
Un orgullo latino, un honor tenerte aquí. And you came from humble beginnings and broke barriers in Congress, broke stereotypes, disrupted the whole thing, right?
Totalmente.
You proved that nothing about our background limits our future. So for anyone who's tired of sitting on the sidelines, ready to step into leadership, whether politically or financially, what can you tell us about the power of showing up? What mindset shift transformed everything for you?
Muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí. Thank you everyone for being here. I believe that for me, it's about the values that I inherit from my grandparents and parents. To me, it's all about that. I want my values to live in my children and the second generations and to live forever. Para mí, lo más importante son los valores que me inculcaron mis abuelos, mis padres, que ahora les estoy inculcando a mis hijos, y creo que es importante que protejamos esos valores porque se están perdiendo. Y para mí eso fue la fuerza que me inculcó a involucrarme más. My values is what drove me to get more involved in politics. I saw that we were losing our values, and for me that was most important. A lot of people said, but Mayra, you were born in Mexico. Why are you Republican? Mayra, naciste en México, ¿por qué eres republicana? Y digo yo, soy republicana porque soy mexicana. I am Republican because I was born in Mexico. And I was raised with strong conservative values. And for me, it's not about a political party. When I saw that my values aligned more with the Republican Party, it was no question. Because for me, no political party is worth putting aside for my values. So for me, it's my values that are first. And that is why I got involved in the Republican Party. And Hispanics are the future of this party. Without Hispanics, the Republican Party has no future. Sin los hispanos, el Partido Republicano no tiene futuro. Así que si quieren ganar las elecciones del 2026, pónganse las pilas y sigan invirtiendo en nuestra comunidad. If the Republican Party wants to win big this upcoming midterms, they got to continue investing in the Hispanic community. We gave President Trump the biggest Hispanic win. We gave him the White House. Without us, it wouldn't have been possible. And I'm very proud that I worked alongside the president, went to Vegas. We did a Hispanic roundtable to get Hispanics involved. And I told him, I was right by him, and I told him, we're going to give you the biggest Hispanic support no other president has ever received. And we did that. So we have an obligation with the Hispanic community. Tenemos una obligación con nuestra comunidad. Y es nuestra comunidad que va a salvar este país, porque nosotros somos gente de Dios, de familia y de mucho trabajo. The Hispanic community is all about God, family, and hard work. That is who we are. And that's what makes this country so amazing.
Very, very true. This is very, very inspiring, everything you guys are sharing. I wanted to end with just one thing you guys can share with our amazing audience that you believe would create the greatest impact on the future of the Latino community. If you could choose one thing, it can be 1 minute each. Let's start with Jen.
One thing. There's so many things we can do. Again, working at the White House is such a privilege, and I would just want you to know, because I get to work with President Trump on a regular basis. He loves Latinos. He loves our community. And thank you. Yeah, you can do that. I was with him in 2016. I've been working with him for 9 years. And I went to him and I said, sir, I want to do a roundtable and bring Latinos around you. And he said, yes, let's do it. We went to Trump Tower. And ever since there, we don't get a lot of media about it, but Latinos surround him on issues on national security. Look who we have as Secretary of State, Secretary Marco Rubio. That's right.
Otro orgullo latino.
So he is elevating Latinos at the highest levels on education, on the economy. I wanted to leave you, this is the thing I think is most important. Under President Trump, Latinos experienced unprecedented prosperity and success. And I think you need to share this with everyone. Unemployment, all-time record low at 3.9%. 6 million Latinos were lifted out of poverty, 12.6 million to 7 million, and we're working on those 7 million. That's a 44% decrease. Real income soared from median income households of Latinos, went from 50,000 to 66,000. That's an 8% increase. Home ownership, I know about my Latinos because my abuelita, she was more excited when I bought a home than when I went to go work at the White House. We care about our home ownership. Up 51.4%, record high. And under Obama, we were at the lowest. And lastly, Hispanic labor force grew to 29.7 million, up 10%. Lastly, just since January, there have been 937,000 new Latinos that have entered the workforce. This economy is great. Work with us, partner with us. President Trump loves the Latino community and all Americans. And as the White House Faith Director, I want to tell you that the faith community has been elevated to the highest level. First time ever there's been a White House Faith Office in the West Wing as a report to the president. So I can tell you he loves Latinos, faith, and the economy. Thank you, and God bless you.
Beautiful. Guys, unfortunately, we're almost out of time, and I'm so upset because it is so good, but one each, okay? So 1 minute each, Mayra, then Jaime. What's the one thing you believe would create the greatest impact on the future of the Latino community?
More Hispanics in Congress, more Hispanics in the Senate. Believe in yourself. Más personas como nosotros en el Congreso y en el Senado. Crean en ustedes. Estas posiciones son para gente como nosotros. These positions are for people like us. Look, I've never been involved in politics at all. I worked in the cotton fields alongside my parents, graduated high school, became a respiratory care practitioner, and then I Googled how to run for Congress. I literally Googled it. And then when I got to Congress, I was like, how did I get here? Within 24 hours, I was like, how did they get here? So trust me, these positions are for people like us that understand the struggle, that understand faith, family, and hard work. So please do not think you're not equipped, that you're not qualified. We need you to run for local, state, federal races. We need more of us in politics. So please get involved. We need you. Necesitamos a todos que se involucren en la política. Gracias.
That's very powerful because we are still underrepresented, right? We have so much power and there's so much we contribute, but the fact is we're still underrepresented in places like Congress and many others, finance, Hollywood, you name it. So Jaime, what's the one thing that you believe will create the greatest impact on the future of the Latino community?
We need to support more conservative media. Nuestra gente está cansada de medios de comunicación que le mienten, de medios de comunicación que intentan engañarlos permanentemente, que no nos dicen la verdad, que tratan de utilizar al público y a las mayorías hispanas para sus propios beneficios y sus propios intereses. We need to get more conservative media. We need our entrepreneurs and our business people to support conservative media. We need to balance the information that our people receive. Every day I have someone telling me, I'm tired of the Hispanic networks. They don't tell the truth. They're always trying to deceive our people. We need to support conservative media so we have a balanced scenario of how to transmit news and how people can get the information they need, the truth that we need to convey to our people.
Very true. An applause, please, because the media is so powerful. You are what you consume, right? So every single day, if you're watching someone, you're listening to something, that has an impact on you. And you can think, no, I'm good. I'll be able to make my own decisions. But it really brainwashes you if you're constantly listening to one source of information. That's why it's important to open ourselves and diversify to what we listen to, right? So I want to thank the three of you so much. It was so insightful, so powerful. I'm honored to have this panel. Thank you.
Privilege.
Muchas
Thank
gracias.
you.